Chumash and Rashi. We continue in the Torah portion. Chayei Sora. We are in the sixth reading. We are chapter 25, verse number 1. Oops.
Come here, baby.
Ah, okay. By Yosef. Yosef. How did Yosef get in here, by the way? Not Yaakov's not even born, and Yosef is being mentioned already. Anybody? No? Achmehillah? How come we're mentioning Yosef? Not even born yet. Ah, what does Yosef mean? To add. Yosef means to add. Yes. So it doesn't mean the name. Yosef, Avram, and Avram added. Right? V'yikach isha, and he took a wife, Ushma, and her name, Keturah, is Keturah. So Rashi says Keturah. Keturah zu Hagar. This was Hagar. V'nikra is Keturah, and she's called Keturah. Why? Her name is Hagar. Who was Hagar, by the way? Anybody remember? Huh?
His wife, his concubine.
His concubine, right? Who was sent away, who was the mother of Ishmael. So that's what it means. He added. He took her again as a wife. Ask a question. How does he know the Keturah? How does Rashi know Keturah is Hagar? Because he added and he took, meaning he took again her. Right? I'm just explaining to you how you see it in the words. You have to know what the words mean. Right? So then you can understand how Rashi infers from it. He took again. He added and he took. Although you could ask a question, he added and he took a wife. How's it he added?
And it says another woman.
No, it doesn't say another.
Oh.
He took a wife, took a woman, right? In any case, yeah. So Rashi says this is Keturah, this is Hagar, and why is she called Keturah? Al shenoyim aseh that her deeds are beautiful, pleasing as incense, because the word Keturah means incense. Shekisha pischa, because she bound up her entrance, shaloi nizdavil la'adam, that she did not have relations with any man, miyom shapir Avram, from the day she separated from Avram. Okay? In other words, she remained faithful to him, even though she was sent away. But Taylor, huh? The divorce wasn't, no, back then there was no concept. There's no concept of marriage back in the day until Torah came and gave the concept that, you have to do an act to marry. You went to, as Rambam says, right? You went in the shuk and you saw someone who you were interested in. So you engaged in a conversation. You went you didn't go for a coffee. You didn't go for a tea. Said, what? whatever, you went and figured it out, and you got married. There was no,
So there was no formal ceremony.
there was no formal ceremony. There was no formal ceremony because, yeah, that's introduced by Torah. Second pasuk. We just did the first pasuk. But Loy, and she bore for him is Zimran, Ve'es Yakshan, Ves Madan, Ves Midyan, Ves Yishbak, Ves Shuach. The Yakshan Yalad, and now Yakshan gave birth, is Shva, is Dedan, Uvnei Dedan, Hayu Ashurim, Atushim, Umim. And from the sons of Dedan, they became leaders of Ashurim, Latushim, and Leumim. You know those guys? Rashi, Ashurim, Latushim. These were heads of nations. The Turgam Shel Onkelos says about these words, Ein li liyashve aloshen amikra. I cannot fit it to the wording of the verse. Shapirish Mishrayan, for he interpreted the Ashurim Mashrayan. Loshen an encampment. If you were to say Shani Cain, that it's not so. Aleph, because of the Aleph in the word, Shana, you say this is not a part of the basic root of the word. So I can respond to you and say, Hare Lanu Tevis, because we do have words, Shein Bereisham Aleph, that they do not have an Aleph at the beginning of their root word. When Nisbasa Aleph Bereisham, and they add it at the beginning, Kamay Chaymas Anach, like a wall of destruction. Shemim. Raglayim, Asuch Shemen, Asuch Shomina Rafsa Shebesavta. Olutushim. Hein Bali Oyalim. These are people who tent dwellers, according to Onkelos. Mispar Zrin Anavana, and they're scattered here and there. Nomad. Benesim Ish Vayala Yapandoi, and they traveled each in their tents. Like we said, all right, it seemed like nomads or something like that. Okay, 4. Bedouins, yeah. The early Bedouins. Of an Midjan, and the sons of Midjan, Ephah, Ve'ephar, Ve'chaneich, Ve'abidan, Ve'eldov, Kol b'nei Keturah. These are all the children of Keturah. V'iten Avram is Kol asher loy liyitzchak, and Avram gave all that he owned to Yitzchak. Rashi. V'iten la Avram, and Avram gave, etc. Amar Rabbi Nehemiah. Rabbi Nehemiah says, Bracha the Asiki Shaloi Nasan Loi. Huh? It's actually in brackets. Yeah. So Avram gave Yitzchak the right to give brachas, to give blessings. Right? Sha'amar lo yakodesh baruch hu Avram, because Hashem said to Avram, "Be a bracha, and you shall be a blessing," which means a bracha is mitzvah b'yadechem. Not that you will just be a blessing, but you will be the source of blessing. The blessings are given to you in your hand that you can give them over. To bless whoever you wish. So he didn't give the blessing to Yitzchak that he should be a blessing. He gave him the power that he could bless. Right? It's interesting why Rashi says his explanation. We need to understand it. Everything that belonged to him. Why wasn't it his possessions? Because that he seemingly gave to him already in the shtar, in the document when Eliezer went. So this verse would be redundant to say that he gave him all. Right? He gave that already. That was part of the shidduch. So what's he giving him now? He's giving him, and also, it makes sense of why it's juxtaposed. Look, what's it juxtapose? The children that Avram, other children that Avram had now. So what is he giving? The possessions he already gave. So what's he giving? Well, what's left to give? The only other thing that he had was that he has the source of blessings. So he gave that power to Yitzchak. I guess it's the way I'm understanding the deduction on how Rashi learns this.
There's a note on the Chayei that's basically what you're saying.
Oh, yeah? Oh, okay. Baruch Hashem. Okay. Is there a note here that says that? Let me see. Oh. Yeah, the Mizrahi said, okay. Yeah, the Mizrahi says that. Okay. V'livnei Pelakshim, and to the children of the Pelakshim, meaning the concubine, Asher Avram, that was Avram, not son Avram also gave. What did he give? Matanos, he gave gifts. V'yishalchem me'al Yitzchak b'nai, and he sent them away upon Yitzchak his son, but Idenu Chai, while he was still alive. Kedma, he sent them to the east. El Eretz Kedem, to the eastern lands. Interesting. Let's see what Rashi says on this. Very, very interesting. Rashi in number 6, Apalakshim, the concubines. It's plural. Palakshim. Pelegish. Chasuksiv, it's written lacking a vav. I know. A yud, I mean. Yeah. Because it was only one concubine, but it's written plural, but it's missing the yud. He Hagar, he Keturah, it's Hagar was Keturah. They are one and the same. And so the way I understand it, maybe I don't know if there's a note there, it's plural, but it's not plural. So how's it plural, not plural? It's because Keturah is Hagar, right? In other words, he didn't have more than one concubine. He just had her. Then why not just say? In other words, there is a plurality here because there's two names. There's Hagar, there's Keturah. So from the two is really one. So the fact that it's written in a form that is plural, but not really plural, so it's taking the plural, making it one. That's how Rashi explains. Yeah, is that clear? That's the way I understand it. Continuing in Rashi, Nashim b'ksuba, wives are married with a marriage contract. Balakshim b'loy ksuba, concubines without a marriage contract, which is like today, right? Interesting. Okay, Amin Basanhedrin b'Nashim u'pelegish the David, regarding the wives and the concubines of King David. So I'm not exactly clear. Because why I have to bring from King David, I guess that's to prove that fact. Yeah. Was Sarah married with a marriage contract? I don't know.
Reading the note here.
Yeah.
Because the previous verse says, Vayikach Vayosef Abraham
Vayikach.
Vayikach Isha. So seemingly he did marry her.
Kicha, Mistay Ephraim.
So the Indian, why he brings the Indian of David HaMelech is because it says even though she had the status of being a wife, he did not grant her a ketubah. And so that's where he brings the raya from David, which the Pelakshim didn't have a ketubah and the wife did have.
Right. Okay. All right. Next, 7. And these are the days.
Natan Avraham Matanot.
Huh?
You skipped one Rashi.
Oh, thank you. You're right. Important Rashi. Yes, thank you. Natan Avram Matanis. Avram gave gifts. But say no, our sages explain, Shem Tuma Moser Lahim. He gave them the name of an impurity. In other words, he gave them a gift that they had a power of using from impurities that would give them a power. Davar Acher, an alternative explanation. Ma shenitan loy, that which was given to him, al edus Sarah, with regard to Sarah, ushar matanat shenit loy, and all the gifts that were given to him, kol nasan lahem, he gave them all to them. Shaloi ratza le'anis mehem, for he did not want to benefit from them.
Why is that considered to be a gift?
Huh? What do you mean?
What your note here is, which refers to it's the power to practice sorcery and magic arts.
Yeah.
Permitted.
Yeah, but how is that a kosher? How is that
It's not kosher for a Jew. But doesn't mean it's not kosher for anybody else. It's not one of the 7 Noachide laws.
it isn't.
You can't practice sorcery if it's a form of idolatry. But could you believe in God and speak to the dead?
Or
Why not?
astrology.
Why not? Or astrology? Why not? The Jews aren't allowed to. We have, it's part of the 613 commandments, but it's not part of the 7 Noachide laws, right? Unless it's infringing on a belief of God. But to speak to the dead or to get a seance with a whatever is not denying God. Not denying God, right? It's an intermediary, but that's the whole thing of the nations of the world. What gives nations of the world vitality? What? The angels, right? The 70 angels. It's an intermediary, right? That's a source of the angel itself feels its own metzius, its own being. It recognizes that God is the ultimate power, but they're also something, right? So in other words, so that reflects itself that the nations of the world feel that there's something, not that there's not God, there's something. So therefore, but there's something else too, called a seance, looking into the stargazers and so on. In other words, there's other sources of how you can know things and other sources on how you could, be privy to secrets of the heavens. For a Jew, that's not allowed. We have to go direct only. You know the story of when no, the story when the Prime Minister of Israel goes to the Pupik in Rome, right? He goes to the Pope and he visits him. And he sees he's got a special phone over there. He says, "Oh, what's that special phone?" He says, "It's a call to heaven." He says, "Oh, wow. Okay, can I use it?" "Yeah, but it costs, it's $10 a minute." $10 a minute, fine. Pleasure. Uses the phone, speaks to God. Then the Pope comes to Jerusalem and he's there by, the chief rabbi. And he sees a phone there too. He says, "Oh, you got a phone. Where's that phone to?" "To heaven." He says, "Oh, how much does it cost?" "Oh, it's a direct call. Doesn't cost anything." We have a direct call, right? We don't have to go through the angels. We don't have to go through anything, right? We have a direct. So therefore, direct, we are not allowed to use any other forms because that's not direct. But they could use it, right? Because the connection isn't direct in that manner. But as long as it doesn't infringe on idolatry, if you believe that becomes your God, right, then that's idolatry. But if it's only a tool that God has given you a power, right? Because in the end, God is there for my power, right? That's an intermediary. That's the nations, how they look at it. And therefore, it's all about their power, all about their gain. The Jew, it's about our connection, not about what we get. It's about that we're connected in what we provide for Hashem, rather what he provides for us will be the outcome, right? So there's not a problem that he gave him gifts. So, but it's interesting, the alternative explanation, everything that he got gifts, like from Pharaoh, right? Or from Avimelech, he got gifts, right? So all that is seemingly what he gave away. He gave that all away because that's also fits in with the whole line. It's through another source. It's not direct. So it's not direct. So he didn't want to benefit from it. Psh. Is that amazing? You got that? Wow. I wonder if the Rebbe brings that up in a sikh or something. That's very powerful. Okay, verse 7. Over there. Ve'ele Yemei Shnei Chayei Avram, and these are the days of the years of Avraham. Asher Chai, that he lived, Ashanas, 100 years, Veshivim Shana, and 70 years, V'chamesh Shanim, and 5 years. Rashi, Ma'as Shanas, 100 years, Veshivim Shana, and 70 years, V'chamesh Shanim, and 5 years. Ben Kuf, Ben Ayin, he was 100 years old, like he was 70 years old. Ben Ayin, and 70 years old. Ben Hay, like he was 5 years old. But all of them without sin. Right, Rashi saying, bringing up the same thing he did by Sarah in the first verse of this Torah portion, right? That since it says Shana, 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 each one is an idea for its own, but it's all about not sinning. Like it's just one idea. Although in the brackets over here, he's saying, in the brackets, he's saying his youthful vitality.
By Abraham, he's speaking about strength, and by Sarah, he's speaking about beauty.
Right.
And both of them with no sin.
Right. Yeah. Number 8, Vigva, and he expired. You know, like your credit card expires. So he expired. Yamas, and then he died. It's interesting. By Yaakov later on, we'll see, it only says Vayigva. It doesn't say Vayamas, that he died. From there, our sages say that Yaakov Avinu didn't die. But here it says he died. Avram, he died, V'seiv Panim, in good old age. Zaken, well, V'seiva Tova. How would you translate Seva Tova?
Fine old age is what they have.
Huh?
Fine old age is what they have.
Fine old age, Zaken. Seva Tova Zaken. Fine old age, okay. The Saveya and content. But here it says mellow, I guess. But yes, of Elam of it, he was gathered to his people. Rashi, verse number 9. V'yikberu, I say Yitzchak v'Yishmael, and they buried him, Yitzchak and Yishmael, one of his sons, El Maris Machpelah, in the cave of the Machpelah. Al Stay Ephraim, in the field of Ephraim, Ben Seicha, the son of Seicha, Chiti, the Chiti, or the Hittite in English. Alpnei Mamre, on the plains of Mamre. Rashi, Yitzchak v'Yishmael. Interesting, it says Yitzchak and Yishmael, so Rashi picks up on them. You can't also Yishmael tshuva. From here, we see that Ishmael did tshuva, because the last thing about Ishmael, he wasn't doing good stuff. He was sent away. But now that he buried, why is it saying Yitzchak and Ishmael? Because he did tshuva, v'heilich Yitzchak lafanav, v'heilich rather. And even though Ishmael was the firstborn, So his name should have been first, and then Yitzchak. But he did tshuva, so he put Yitzchak before him. Right? He put him before. He Seva Teva Shenemar B'Avram, and that is the Seva Teva, the contentment of in his old age, in reference to Avram. In other words, that Ishmael did tshuva. He recognized that Yitzchak is the rightful firstborn, and that's what it means that he died with mellow and content.
Seva Tova, I think, is from the fact that Ishmael did tshuva.
Yeah.
That gave him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Huh?
Can I ask a question about this puzzle?
Mhm.
We just saw a few, 3-4 psukim ago, that he had a whole bunch of other children. What, they didn't go and bury him?
He sent them away. He sent them away with gifts. They went to Auris. They weren't here.
But even Ishmael went to Mitzrayim.
I guess Ishmael didn't. The verse says he didn't. It says no. Bnei Plakshim, I guess, is referring specifically to the ones who were born afterwards, right? Asad Asher Kon Avram, and the field that was purchased by Avram Meis Bnei Chez from Bnei Chez. Shama Kubar Avram, there was buried Avram, the Sarah Ishta, and Sarah his wife. Huh. Why is that repeated? I mean, it's repeated because the message needs to be the message needs to be sent to the Jewish people that Hebron belongs there to Yidden. In Vav Tishrei Tavshim Mem, the Rebbe was reading about that. I was listening to the earlier, and how that message is something lost by the Jewish people. Okay, last verse. And it wasn't after the passing of Avram. And he blessed, God blessed, as Yitzchak Benoy, Yitzchak his son. Yeshiv Yitzchak in Be'er Chayei. And Yitzchak, he dwelt or lived in the area of Be'er Chayei. Rashi. In verse number 11, it was after the passing of Avram that God blessed God consoled the consolation of mourners. How's that? I guess because it's speaking after he passed away, right? And he blessed him. So that means like Hashem is consoling Yitzchak. Davar acher, alternatively, although that Hashem gave the blessings over to Avram, Avram was afraid to bless Yitzchak because he foresaw that Esav will come forth from him. So Avram said, let the master of the blessings come, and let God, who's the master of all the blessings, bless that which he chooses. In his eyes, he chooses that it's good to bless. So God came, and blessed Yitzchak.
This is a very difficult Rashi.
Yeah.
How didn't we just say that Abraham gave Yitzchak the power to bless?
No, the question is, yes, he gave that, but that doesn't mean God can't bless.
No, but here it says, "Nitia levarech et Yitzchak mipnei shetzafah." So, but didn't we just say that he gave him the power to bless?
Yeah, how about him being blessed, though?
I understand.
Right? It's like a shoemaker goes without shoes, right? Right? So he's got the power to bless, but yeah, but how about his blessing? So God's got to bless him. In other words, what seems to be over here according to this explanation, since it's emphasizing, why is it emphasizing after Avram passed away? Now God blesses him. Like, why didn't he get blessed before? Why didn't Avram bless him? Why is God blessing him? So that's why there's two explanations here. The first one is more the Pshuta Shemikra. God's consoling him. You lost your father, so I'm consoling. But that itself is, how do you see that in the words, really?
Yeah,
If you console someone, that's not necessarily a blessing, is it?
Of course it is.
well,
I mean-
Hashem's blessing, I guess, is
That's a
definitely
consolation.
consolation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no. When you one second, excuse me. When you go to a shiva house, you give a blessing to the person. May you know, you should know for no sorrow. You should only have simchas in your life. You're giving a bracha. So of course. So right. So but the problem is it doesn't fit with it doesn't sound like words of consolation, right? So it's not a sufficient explanation. Therefore, Rashi gives a second one. This is my understanding. I'm right. Gives a second explanation that fits more with the words, but doesn't make sense of why Avram didn't do the blessing. Why is Hashem blessing? You bless your children. He gave gifts to the Palakshim. Right? Okay, he gave them something. He gave Yitzchak the power to bless. But why wouldn't he bless him before his passing? What's the proof? Who did it? Yaakov did it. He gave before he passed away. Moshe did it, right? Yeah, you're right. That's the whole story. But they let the Bala Brachas come and take the brachas. Exactly. So we see that there is that concept. So why didn't he do it? Because he was afraid to do it, because he saw that Esav is going to come out of him. So maybe out of Yitzchak, Esav is going to come, right?
Wasn't Esav already alive? Already alive, right? Almost 40 years old.
Esav? No, you're talking about Ishmael now. You're talking about Ishmael or Esav?
Esav. When
How's Esav alive?
In the time of
Of
Avram, yes, you're right. One second. You're right. That's when he was making the stew. He was making the soup, whatever, right? Yeah. It was the day that he passed. Okay, so therefore what? So that he saw, Safa, 1 second. He didn't go out to Tarbus Ra completely
up until
after he passed, but he saw that what's going to be. He saw that there's something not good here, so he was afraid to give him the blessing. So God gave him the blessing. Okay, that makes sense. Got it, folks. Huh?
a little difficult to lashon, even the English.
Well,
translation.
that's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why he's giving two explanations here, right? Because of the difficulty,
Yeah. Shkoyach, Rabbi.
right? Because of the difficulty, that's why he's giving two explanations, which kind of makes sense. Okay.
Thank you.
Both explanations
Well,
are correct, though.
Yeah, of course. Of course, they're always correct. The question is why the first is more valid than the second, though. So, all right.